Am I the a-hole for telling my deadbeat father's wife and daughter to leave me the F***ck alone? I, 27F, have had a very complicated relationship with my father. To put it bluntly, he was a deadbeat. He was in and out of my life, never consistent, never reliable, and, honestly, he made my mom and me struggle more than we ever should have. My mom was basically a single parent, working multiple jobs to keep a roof over our heads while my dad popped in occasionally, usually when he needed something or when he wanted to play fun dad for a weekend before disappearing again. When I was 12, he remarried. His new wife, let's call her Karen, made it clear from the start that she didn't see me as part of the package. I wasn't her kid, and she never treated me kindly. If anything, she was openly hostile, constantly hinting that I was my mother's problem and that my dad had moved on to a real family. They had a daughter together, who's now about 14, and while she's technically my half-sister, I never had a relationship with her. Every time I tried, Karen made it painfully obvious that I wasn't welcome. Fast forward to adulthood, my dad barely contacts me. Birthdays? Missed. Graduations? Didn't show. When I got my degree, he didn't even send a text. Yet, now that I'm doing okay for myself, stable job, nice apartment, healthy social life, suddenly Karen and their daughter have started reaching out to me. At first, it was just, hey, your sister would love to get to know you. Then it became, you're her only sibling, she deserves to have you in her life. Recently, Karen straight up messaged me about how family sticks together and how I owe it to my sister to be a role model since her dad, my dad, isn't the best at it. That last part really pissed me off. Owe her? Where the hell was that energy when I was a kid begging my dad to come to my school play or just call me on my birthday? Where was Karen's concern about family when she made me feel like an outsider in my father's home? Now, all of a sudden, I'm supposed to step in and be the good big sister because it's convenient for them? So, I told Karen point blank to leave me the F***ck alone. I said I wasn't interested in playing big sister to a kid I don't know, and I'm not going to play substitute dad just because the actual dad is useless. I told her she made her bet when she chose to ice me out of my father's life, and now she can lie in it. Of course, now I'm getting guilt-tripped. Karen called me heartless, my dad, for once, texted me saying I was being unfair to my sister, and even some extended relatives are saying it's not the girl's fault. Which, I know it's not, but also, I don't owe them my emotional energy just because my dad failed twice. So yeah. Am I the a-hole for telling my deadbeat father's wife and daughter to leave me the F***ck alone? The fallout was honestly worse than I expected. After I told Karen to leave me the F***ck alone, she went on a little campaign to paint me as the bitter, jealous daughter. Suddenly, I was hearing from aunts, cousins, and even my grandmother that I needed to let go of the past and not punish an innocent child. For context, my extended family has always tiptoed around my dad's deadbeat behavior. He was the golden boy when he was younger, and despite his failures, a lot of them still make excuses for him. He's just bad with responsibility, or he's not perfect, but he loves you in his own way. It's exhausting. Meanwhile, they all watched my mom work herself into the ground to raise me, but they never held him accountable. Anyway, I guess Karen felt like she wasn't getting through to me, so she had my half-sister, let's call her Emily, reach out directly. Emily messaged me on Instagram saying she didn't understand why I hated her and that she just wanted a big sister. That honestly broke my heart a little, because she didn't ask for this situation. But at the same time, it also pissed me off because it's clear Karen is using her kid as a guilt trip to worm her way into my life. I responded carefully. I told Emily that I don't hate her, but that I don't have a relationship with her because of choices made long before she was old enough to know me. I said it wasn't her fault, but it wasn't mine either, and that sometimes families aren't as close as we want them to be. Of course, Karen intercepted that message and blew up at me. She called me cruel for rejecting a child who looks up to you. Then my dad finally decided to call me, first actual phone call in over a year, mind you, and tried to lecture me about family responsibilities. I cut him off and told him straight, you don't get to ignore me for 27 years and then demand I play big sister to your new kid because you can't be bothered to step up as a father. That's your job, not mine. He hung up on me. Now the family group chat is a mess. Half of them are saying I should at least give Emily a chance because she's innocent, and the other half are DMing me privately saying, honestly, you don't owe them anything, do what's best for your peace. My mom, bless her, just told me she supports me no matter what and reminded me that I don't have to set myself on fire to keep other people warm. Still, part of me feels conflicted. I don't want to hurt Emily, but I also refuse to let Karen and my dad manipulate me into filling a role I never signed up for. After that mess with the group chat, things escalated fast. Karen apparently decided I was too stubborn to listen, so she went nuclear. She posted some long Facebook rant about how some people hold grudges so badly they'd rather hurt innocent kids than let go of their bitterness. Of course, half my relatives liked it, and I immediately started getting passive-aggressive comments from family like, "Some people just don't understand what family means." The thing is, I don't even have Karen on Facebook. She tagged me by name so everyone knew who she was talking about. That's when I lost it. I commented, "Funny how you suddenly care about family now, but when I was a kid, you made sure I wasn't part of mine. Don't act like you're the champion of family when you told a 13-year-old she didn't belong in her dad's home." And then I logged out because honestly, I wasn't going to sit there and fight on Facebook like a teenager. But of course, the text started rolling in again. My dad called me later that night, furious, saying I was disrespecting his wife. I told him point blank, "I don't owe respect to someone who never respected me. You chose your side years ago, and it wasn't me. So don't come crying now because your choices finally have consequences." He went silent for a few seconds and then muttered something about me being just like my mother before hanging up. That one stung. Not because I think it's true in the way he meant, but because my mom worked her ass off to raise me while he abandoned us. If being like her means I have a backbone, then fine, I'll wear it proudly. Here's the kicker though. Emily messaged me again, this time from her friend's account. She apologized for her mom's behavior and said she just wanted to know me. That broke me a little. I really don't hate her. She's a kid stuck in the middle of two selfish adults and it sucks. But at the same time, I can't open the door for her without opening the door to her mom. And her mom is toxic. I told her gently that none of this was her fault, and I hoped she'd grow up knowing her worth wasn't tied to her parents' drama. But I also made it clear I can't be part of her life right now. She just replied with a sad face and okay. I won't lie, I cried after that. For her, for me, for all the years I spent wishing my dad gave a damn. It feels like history is repeating itself, just in a different way. After that last exchange with Emily, I had to sit with my feelings for a while. I was torn between guilt for shutting her out and anger at being dragged back into my dad's chaos after years of building peace for myself. A week later, I finally decided to draw a hard boundary. I wrote a message in the family group chat, which I usually avoid like the plague, and said, "I've made my decision. I'm not interested in having a relationship with my dad, his wife, or their family. That includes Emily, not because I hate her, but because I refuse to be manipulated or dragged into toxic dynamics I didn't create. I hope she grows up knowing this is not her fault. But I am done being the scapegoat and the backup parent. Please respect my boundary and leave me alone." Predictably, all hell broke loose. Karen immediately blew up, calling me selfish. My dad told me I'd regret this one day. A couple of relatives even accused me of being cold-hearted. But I ignored all of it. I blocked Karen, my dad, and anyone who kept pushing after I asked them to stop. The surprising thing? About a week later, I started getting private messages from cousins and even one aunt thanking me for saying what they never had the courage to. Apparently, I wasn't the only one my dad had let down over the years, and a lot of people were tired of the family sweeping it under the rug. That actually made me feel a little less alone. As for Emily, yeah, it still hurts. I don't hate her, and maybe one day, when she's older and not under her mom's thumb, she'll reach out again. And if she does, maybe I'll be in a place where I can be there for her without Karen in the mix. But right now, I need to protect myself. So that's where I left it. No more guilt trips, no more manipulation. I finally realized that setting boundaries doesn't make me heartless, it makes me sane. If that means I'm the bad guy in their story, so be it. At least in mine, I finally chose myself. If this story kept you hooked, give it a like, share your thoughts below, and subscribe for more.